So I just so happened to scroll through DygoKnight's community tabs, and he had a poll going on, and he was like, he did like a poll. He said worst Hokage of all time. Now I know DygoKnight is like famously known in the Naruto community for like having like insanely like really bad wild takes. So I really don't mean to like shit on him. I respect any content creator that's been able to build up a platform. Like I ain't got no ill will towards Diagonite. But nigga, there's no fucking way you made a poll for worst Hokage of all time. And Hiruzen isn't even on the fucking list. He's not even an option. Like, what the fuck? He's not even an option, bruh. Hiruzen isn't even an option. How? How? I gotta make a video on this. I gotta make a video on this. I got to. I got to. You gonna do a poll of worst Hokage of all time, and Hiruzen isn't even on the list? Like, what the fuck? Bruh. Like, what is going on, bruh? Did he like what? Like, bro, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit, crazy videos from him. The eighth gate guy one, like that. Like I've seen a lot of videos, but this is crazy. This is insane to me. How can you do a poll of the worst Hokage of all time, and you don't even have Hiruzen as an option? Like, bro, whoa, that is crazy, bro. That is insane to me. That is like so mind-boggling to me. That is fucking crazy, bro. that is batshit, bro. Like, what? This nigga literally saw Orochimaru doing experiments on people. He saw him kill his niggas in front of him. And he still let Orochimaru go, knowing that he could have no-diffed him at that point. Even though Hiruzen could have easily beaten Orochimaru, because Orochimaru admits to being scared to fight Hiruzen. That's younger than his older self, because he knew he would have gotten stomped. Hiruzen could have watched Orochimaru, killed him right then and there, kept him from doing horrifying experiments on people, and he let him go. He let him go, bro. Like, wow, bro. And he's not even on the list. He's not even on the list. He let him go just because he didn't want to kill him. He's not even on the list, bro. I'm going to be defending my boy Tobirama because DygoKnight thinks Tobirama was the worst Hokage. And the explanation he gives for this is just very flawed. I mean, and this is going to be basically just me explaining everything because DygoKnight's not the only person to do this. A lot of people blame Tobirama for the events of the Fourth Great Shinobi War, the Uchiha Massacre. People blame Tobirama and they blame him for a lot of shit that isn't even his fault. And he's like held as like the like poster boy racist of Naruto. And that's another thing that I just think isn't true. So let me calm down a bit and explain my point and my reasoning. For people that like, for a lot, because a lot of people seriously believe this. And I just wanted to make this video. Tobirama, I don't like one character more than Tobirama in the entire series. So like he's my second favorite character. Definitely my favorite Hokage. And I definitely feel like the nigga gets a bad rep for shit that he doesn't even fucking deserve. So this isn't gonna be a power scaling video. It's just gonna be strictly off of character. And I chose Tsunade just because I just wanted to see what the answer was gonna be. I don't actually believe Tsunade was a bad Hokage. I believe she did the best with what she had. Like she protected the villages from pains. Shinra Tensei healed them. Like she did a really good job with what she had, bro. Honestly, on this list, I'll probably say Hashirama because he was too forgiving. He was too kind. Like and even Tobirama like got on him about that shit, and stuff like that. But Hashirama wasn't like Hiruzen is definitely the worst Hokage. Like it's without a doubt. Like all of these other Kages, like Minato wasn't really a Kage long enough to really do anything. He was younger. He was the youngest Hokage to die. Like he got taken out by the fucking Nine Tails and Obito's attack before like he could really be Hokage for a long time or even arguably reach his highest potential. But we so it's like it's Hiruzen is without a doubt the worst Hokage, and he's not even on the list. He's not even a part of the poll, which is just like unfathomable to me. But I made a video. First, I'm gonna go over the racist part because this is explanation. Every single problem in the ninja world was perpetuated by Tobirama Senju. That's just not true at all. Like Tobirama, like what about the Warren states? Like I'm at a loss of words here, bro. Like, bro, like just miss after miss, bro. Like this is just not true, bro. Like this is not true. This is not true, bro. Sorry, DygoKnight. This is not true. He says Tobirama is the reason for every single problem in the world. Tobirama, as far as I'm concerned, was not born at the start of the Warring States period. He was born when the Warring States already existed. So like that's again like people just blame Toby for shit that he had nothing to do with, bro. Like what the fuck? He created the tuning exams, which is a children meat grinder. This was something Hashirama created the villages to avoid. This is probably the most accurate thing Daigo. Like this is like the only thing that has the only statement that actually has a little bit of weight, or like I can understand where you're going with this, that he said in the entire paragraph. But it was not Tobirama's intention for that shit to be that way. And plus we know that there are other leaf villages, like not other leaf villages, other ninja villages like the Hit and Miss, who had a way more brutal version of their tuning exams than the fucking Leaf. And it was allowed to keep going on. So, I mean, it's like, like, come on, bro. Like, this shit was going on under Heroes and et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's just a way for villagers to test their strength and their power. Like, so they can go out to be a ninja or a shinobi. And another reason why I also kind of feel like this statement doesn't really hold that much weight is because at the tuning exams, it's not. It's really like you if you chose to be a shinobi, you went into the tuning exams. Like it wasn't like people were like forced to go into the tuning exams. Like Tobirama didn't create it and then like have people being forced to go into the tuning exams. We see children being forced to fight to the death when like the third grade ninja war happens and shit like that. Like we see stuff like that happening. But as far as the tuning exams go, that's for people who wanted to be a ninja. Like it wasn't like children were like forced into it. Like children were not just like rounded up out of their homes and forced into it. Like that's not even what happened. So it's not like Tobirama was forcing people to go through this. He's saying that, okay, if you want to be a ninja, this is how we gonna test you, nigga. We gotta make sure you built for this shit. Like, what the fuck? Like before we put you out in the field, nigga, we gotta make sure you built for this shit, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like that. And but that's like the only thing that's like that has a little bit of like, okay, you okay, like I can kind of see, okay, why you can look at it that way, but it wasn't like he was forcing people. Like that's not really what it was. Like he says children meat grinder, like just like no, it's for people who wanted to be a shinobi. He make it's a way for villagers to test they shinobi, make sure they can be okay, going to tuning, becoming jonin. Like it's the way to make sure that they are built for that shit. But I will say that, yeah, like you can say it's a meat grinder once you get into that. But so that's the only thing. Then he says he segregated the Uchiha clan, incentivizing prejudice against them, which led to their rebellion, forcing the Leaf to eliminate the Uchiha, the strongest clan and ninjas they had, decreasing their military power a lot. This is just not true. Okay, people always, and I have a video on my channel. It was actually the first video that I made on this channel. in regards to Naruto, and I think it was the first video that I made, period. And it's called Tobirama is Not Racist. And that video got a lot of views in the context of the views that I usually get. It was the most successful in the context of how many views I usually get. And because I wanted to make the video because I'm gonna kind of repeat what I said in that video, but to a greater extent here. And people like to, like I said, we all see the memes and stuff like that, like, oh, Tobirama, like, he's like seen as the poster boy racist of the fucking Naruto, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna like ruin the fun if like it's a meme out there. Like, of course I'm gonna like laugh, like, okay, it's funny, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in fucking Jay the Great stream yesterday. Well, I guess you technically early this morning, late at night stream. He did shit like call Tobirama ethnic like cleanser and shit like that. Like, I'm not finna be like, I'm not finna get offended by that shit. Like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. He was being like facetious. Like, he wasn't being like all the way serious with that. So it's like when it comes to jokes, I'm not gonna like get mad and like ruin the fun. But for the people that genuinely believe that Tobirama is like the racist of the Naruto community, I do disagree with that. I don't think you can compare they make the relationship between Tobirama and an Uchiha synonymous with the relationship between a white racist and a black person. And that's just not the same. That is a literal false equivalency. The history between Tobirama and the Uchiha, or just the Senju and the Uchiha in general, is not comparable to the history that black people historically have with white people as far as ancestrally in this country. It's just not the same. If anything, the Uchiha and the Senju beef can be more so compared to gang violence, and that's the field that I always got, which is like, okay, that's the more comparable analogy that you can use with the Uchiha and Senju, like maybe the BDs and the GDs in Southside Chicago, for etc. type shit. Because it reminds me, when I was watching it reminded me a lot of gang violence. Like, they getting like, they literally like sliding on each other, like even kids ain't even safe. Like, this is the shit that go on in the fucking trenches when it come to gang war and all that shit. Like, kids is being killed, people walking up on they, seeing their brother's dead body and shit like that. And this is why I have this is why I always disagree with people making Tobirama seem as if he's the, like, they make it seem like, oh, he's an analogy for like a white racist in the Naruto community, and that's just not true. That's just not true at all. Like, he's not racist towards the Uchiha. He literally, like I said, it's literally like gang violence. Tobirama's not looking at an Uchiha and saying, "Oh, I'm better than him." "Oh, I don't like the way they look," or some shit like that. He grew up in war with these, because when I made this point, people were like, "Oh, like let me just explain what I'm about to say." He grew up in war with the Uchiha from a baby to all the way up to adulthood. He had to watch his closest friends, his brother, probably his parents as well. We know he saw his brothers die. He lost all his brothers except for Hashirama. Probably saw his father die. Probably had other close friends within the clan that he also saw die in battle. He had to literally experience all of that shit from birth all the way up to adulthood, from the ops, from the Uchiha, from the other side. The Uchihas was this nigga ops. He was taught to go and kill these niggas because these niggas is trying to kill him. That was the Warring States period. Hashirama participated in it. Everybody participated in it. Like, obviously, we know Hashirama didn't want to participate in it. Tobirama didn't want to participate in the shit too, but that's the cards they were dealt. If you have a whole group of people, and when I say this, people are like, "Oh, well, this doesn't," just because you have a reason for being racist doesn't excuse you for being racist. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do, because I don't believe this is racism. Like, when Tobirama is like looking at the Uchiha and like trying to be cautious towards them, that's coming from a place of like, okay, I went to war with these niggas my whole life. Like, I gotta make, and they took out all of my family except for one person. Him and Hashirama were the only people left in Tobirama's family or immediate family that survived the war. he saw all his brothers die from a young age, except for Hashirama. And he looked at and he killed other Uchihas at the same time. So he knows that, okay, if they do a truce, the Uchihas, and he knows that the Uchiha, and I mean, it's not racist. Like, it's generally known that Uchihas, it's scientifically known in the Naruto community that Uchihas have a power system based on their emotion. And this is what Tobirama was doing. He was studying the Uchiha's highs and figuring out, like, he was being like scientific about the shit. And he was like studying the eyes. He's like, yeah, when they have insane amounts of hate, they can wait this amount of power, and Uchiha, feels a lot of love, and that turn gets turned into a lot of hate if something happens and shit like that. And he knows that because he killed a lot of they people, that the Uchiha might still have some grudges towards the Senju, and he's just being cautious and worried about that shit, or just grudges in general, because he knows that they grew up in war with each other. So he's like, yeah, like that's realistic thinking. That's not coming from a place of like racism, bro. Like that's not coming from a place of racism. Like that's like if you was in a war with a whole group of niggas and y'all had a truce, you mean to fucking tell me that you wouldn't have no reservations if you lost your brothers and your close friends and your parents to these niggas, and now all of a sudden y'all got a truce, and you know that on their side you done took out a whole bunch of they people. Of course, it would be natural for people on either side to be cautious about the other side and make sure, like, okay, can we really trust them? Like, that's only natural, bro. That's not coming from a place of race. It's not coming from, like, that's why I said it's not comparable to the history that Black Americans have with white people and their white ancestors. It's not coming from that place, bro. Like, it's literally not coming from that same place. That place with the Uchiha and the Senju is coming from the fact that they were at war with each other. It's not coming from the fact that, oh, we look different. They have different abilities. They have different eyes. We don't like that, so let's try to do something to them. That's not what it's about. These were clans at war with each other. And that's where that suspicion is stemming from. It's the same. It's no different from if you in a gang war or some shit like that. Y'all niggas have a truce, or just a country, motherfuckers is fighting in some type of war. You have a truce the other side. Of course, you still gonna have be cautious about it, and it's only natural because people like, oh well, why Hashirama, why Tobirama could just be like Hashirama, and I want people to like really be honest with themselves. Well, whose reaction and whose like mentality would be more realistic in real life, Tobirama's or Hashirama? If you was at war with a nigga and then y'all all the way from birth to adulthood saw your people get killed by him, knowing that you killed people on their side as well, and then y'all have a truce, you mean to tell me it wouldn't be likely for you? Like, you mean to tell me, like, be real with yourself, bro? You mean to tell me you would just have the easiest time ever? Like, Hashirama is not the default. Like, Hashirama was more so an exception, bro. Like, most people would not be like him. Hashirama just had an over-forgiving heart. But generally and realistically, most people would fucking like have at least some level of resentment to a group of people that they lost their whole family to, pretty much. And then they would also be cautious because they'd be like, okay, I know I killed people on their side too. I know these people can get wicked. Like, so can we really trust these niggas? Like, it's that type of shit right there. And then, that's what led to Tobirama studying the Uchiha and shit like that, because he created all these counter jutsus to try to make sure that he could counter their abilities. Because again, it's only natural. You're at war with these niggas. So I really disagree with the whole like people trying to seriously paint Tobirama as like a racist and all this other shit. Like, and a lot of major Naruto YouTubers have thrown slick comments at Tobirama, calling like even Swag Kage, all these people like calling him like a racist and shit like that. I'm just like, it's not that simple. And a lot of people, like I said, they oversimplify it, and it's easier to just like go with the wave and be like, oh yeah, Tobirama's a racist, and not think too much about it. Yeah, Tobirama's the reason why the Uchiha clan got got segregated or some shit like that. And I'm just like, and then he says like he segregated the Uchiha clan and incentivizing prejudice against them, which led to their rebellion, forcing the Leaf to eliminate the Uchiha. And like he's blaming this on Tobirama Senju, and that's laughable to me because we know what the direct catalyst was that led to the Uchiha being discriminated against. It was the Nine Tails attack. And this is what's crazy to me. He's blaming Tobirama for it, but it's literally an Uchiha that's to blame for the Uchiha being wiped out. Like, what? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? Obito attacked the Leaf Village with the Nine Tails, dog. He attacked the Leaf Village with the Nine Tails. And that's what led to the Uchiha being looked at funny because all the people knew that only an Uchiha with a Sharingan would have the ability to control the Nine Tails like that. So the Uchiha were blamed for that. That's because of Obito. What the fuck? And then Obito even helped out in eliminating the Uchiha along with Itachi. Because he just hated, he had a grudge against the Uchiha. But yeah, we're not going to blame Obito. We're going to blame Tobirama, a nigga who wasn't even alive during that time. Tobirama wasn't segregating the Uchiha. He created the police force. You could argue like, yeah, he did it as a way to keep an eye on Uchiha. But as I just said, that's not coming from a view of racism. That's coming from a view of caution. And he even had an Uchiha as one of his right hand men, Kagami Uchiha. He had nothing but good shit to say about it. And then people point out, oh, where he called Sasuke like, "Are you brat full of Uchiha evil?" Think about the history that Tobirama has with the Uchiha. Again, he grew up seeing nothing but the worst side of the Uchiha. He didn't just call Sasuke that shit for no reason. Sasuke said he was gonna destroy the Leaf Village, and then Tobirama flexed on him. Then Tobirama was like, "Oh yeah, I'm finna destroy you, nigga." Because again, Tobirama put in a lot of work for the Leaf Village. So you come across an Uchiha, the first thing you see after being revived and you have your mental capacity back is you see some Uchiha saying that, yeah, I'll destroy the Leaf, knowing that you don't put in work and knowing that you already have a bad history with Uchiha. Of course, the nigga gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm finna destroy you, nigga." It will kind of be the same thing as, like I said, when it comes to gang shit. That's not really something that's off of race. That's due to the context of the history of beef that they have between each other. That Tobirama had nothing to do with. He was born into the shit. So I mean, what the fuck? I'm confused, bro. And as far as blaming him for the Uchiha clan massacre, that's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, Hiruzen was the Hokage during that time. So it's like what the fuck? Like Danzo and Hiruzen had way more of a part to play in the Uchiha massacre than the fucking Tobirama did, and Hiruzen even admitted this shit. Hell, Shisui was gonna Kodo of Masakami Fugaku to mind control him into not doing the coup d'etat anymore, so they didn't have to be a civil war. And Danzo, knowing this, took his fucking eye so that he couldn't do it, cause he wanted to eliminate them. Like, if there's anybody that's like a purist, it's Danzo. Like honestly, Danzo didn't grow up in war with these niggas. He just hated them niggas for real. He actually just hated them niggas. And Hiruzen allowed Danzo to get away with this. So how the fuck is he not on the list? Like, what? Like that's just crazy to me. That's absolutely insane that you can blame Tobirama, but you gonna blame Hiruzen, Danzo, and Obito, who created the main catalyst in the first place, and you also have Madara to blame. Because people love to be like, oh, Madara predicted his clan's downfall, and he wasn't wrong. But ironically enough, or unironically enough, Madara is actually the reason why he was right. He came back, tried to destroy the Leaf Village, which again reinforced Tobirama's fears of like, okay, we still may have some Uchihas who have resentment against us because, you know, they don't want to let go of the beef. Madara didn't want to let go of everything he lost. He was still bitter about, and it's understandable, of course. He lost all of his siblings. At least Tobirama still had one of his siblings left. Madara lost everybody. Like, he lost Everybody that he was close to. All of his family members died from the war in states. At least Tobirama and Hashirama still had each other. But Madara had nothing. He had nothing, bro. Like he had resentment. Then he never got what he wanted. When it was time for him to run and be Hokage, Madara wanted to be Hokage, but he knew Hashirama was gonna pick Tobirama because that's his brother. And then Madara got salty about this shit while still having that resentment from the beef that they have. He said, fuck, I'm finna destroy these motherfuckers. Hashirama had no choice but to kill him. Then Madara used Izanagi to rewrite his death. And I don't think that it would have been impossible for an Uchiha to become Hokage. So, yeah, you could argue at that time it was a little bit unfair because Tobirama was Hashirama's brother. But it doesn't mean that Madara, like, if he literally was, like, not on fuck shit, I'm pretty sure, like, he could have, like, still became fucking Hokage, bro. Like, come on, bro. He was a fucking powerful person. And if he wasn't on fuck shit, like, Fugaku was even a candidate to become Hokage. You could argue, like, yeah, that was because of the Uchiha discrimination. They didn't want to choose him. But that's after the whole Obito shit. Wait, was that after the Obito shit? I think that was before. I can't remember if that was after or before. I'm pretty sure that was before because Fugaku was being compared to like Minato and shit like that. So I'm pretty sure that one I might not be too my vision my memory might be a little bit cloudy, but Fugaku was even a Hokage candidate, etc. I think if I remember, I think Orochimaru was, and then Minato ended up being the one to become the fourth Hokage. But I think they were all Hokage candidates. But Madara is literally the reason why his clan got destroyed. He literally set up the domino effect for his clan being destroyed. He tried to attack the Leaf Village. Right after it was built, Hashirama said no, he wasn't going for that shit. He had to kill him. Then he Izanagi to death. Then, because he wanted to see he wanted Obito to join him, he purposely set up the events that caused Ren to die so that Obito could see Ren die and then join his cause. And that's what made Obito. And after that, Obito took it upon himself to carry on Madara's cause. And then, because of that, he attacked the Leaf Village with the fucking Nine Tails. And because he attacked the Leaf Village with the Nine Tails, the Uchiha were blamed for the attack. And that led to the Uchiha clan being discriminated upon and discriminated against so much so to where they were considering a rebellion, and then that's when they had to be wiped out. And then even after all that, Shisui was going to stop the rebellion, or at least make an attempt with his Kodo Masakami. Danzo took his fucking eye. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, and then Hiruzen let Danzo get away with that. He allowed Danzo to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Same thing with the Orochimaru. And that goes into my next point. So again, like I said, Madara is literally the reason why. He literally brought that upon his own clan. And people don't even like look at it that way. Then he says the last statement, which is just like, bro, come on, bro. What the fuck? Bro, he says he created the Edo Tensei, which caused tens of thousands of deaths in the Fourth Ward. And I'm just like what? Bruh. Okay, but by that logic, if we're gonna blame the fucking Hokage for something, for a war because of a jutsu he created, like that we could literally just go down the list and there would be no line to be drawn with that. What about all the good fundamental jutsus that people wouldn't have if it wasn't for Tobirama, like flying Raijin, like fucking shadow clones? Those were jutsus that saved the world. If you want to use that logic, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck? Minato wouldn't have even had a base to work with if it wasn't for Tobirama. Because flying Raijin exists because of Tobirama. Like, what the fuck? Same thing with Shadow Clones. So I'm really trying to understand his shit. He would blame Tobirama, but he won't blame Orochimaru or fucking Kabuto. Like, bro, if like what the fuck, like, bro, what? Like you're acting like Tobirama didn't at least make an effort to ban the jutsu. Like, he literally made it a forbidden jutsu, bro. He made it a forbidden jutsu. And the only reason why the reanimation jutsu was so powerful in the Fourth War to cause that amount of catastrophe was because, one, Orochimaru expanded on it. Then Kabuto took expanded on it from Orochimaru's from where Orochimaru left off. So it's really Orochimaru to blame if you want to use that logic. But then Kabuto expanded on the shit himself. And that's what made it so powerful. Like Tobirama didn't know when he created the fucking reanimation jutsu that, oh, it's gonna be fucking used to fucking to it's gonna be used years later for a fucking couple of psychopaths to wage war on the fucking Leaf Village, on the villages in general. Like, what the fuck? And you can make the argument that Kabuto wouldn't have even been able to expand on the jutsu if it wasn't for Orochimaru. But the whole reason why Orochimaru even survived long enough to come across the reanimation jutsu and use it for his own purposes was because of Hiruzen. And he isn't even on the list. Who let Orochimaru go? It was Hiruzen. We see this in a flashback, bruh. When Hiruzen is fighting Orochimaru, Hiruzen stumbles across Orochimaru's experiments and what Orochimaru's doing. He has two people with him. I think he has like two ninja with him. Orochimaru kills the ninja. Hiruzen lets him go. Like, what the fuck? Knowing that he could have beaten him. He could have no diff Orochimaru at that point. He was younger. Orochimaru admits blatant inferiority to a younger Hiruzen. He purposely waited for him to get old, for him to be able to do anything. But no, it's Tobirama's fault. What? Man, come on, bro. Like I said, bro. Tobirama is just one of those people that just gets way too much hate for no reason, bro. Like, for no reason. People just find any excuse they can to not like this nigga, even when it's not even valid. Like, I don't even understand it, bro. Like, what? Like, Tobirama has to be one of the most, if not the most, misunderstood character in all of Naruto. He has to be. He has to be. He has to be, bro. He has to be one of the most misunderstood characters of all time, if not the most understood character in all time. The amount of shit he gets blamed for that he had nothing to do with. Like, what the fuck? If I teach somebody a fucking recipe, a cookie recipe, and then they go and use that same cookie recipe to make cookies that they put a fucking poison in or some shit, and they give those cookies to people, and then people end up getting poisoned from those cookies and dying and shit. Oh, does that mean I'm to blame because I taught him the recipe that he used to fucking that he used to poison people? No, that's fucking illogical as fuck, bro. Am I supposed to be arrested because I taught the nigga how to cook? That makes no fucking sense. So why would you use that logic with Tobirama? Like, what the fuck? And it's not like Tobirama didn't make an effort to forbid it. He forbid the jutsu. It seems like to me it was a jutsu that Tobirama created during the Warring States period. He used it in periods of war. Right? Maybe as a way to psychologically fuck with the Uchiha, etc. He probably used it in the First Great Ninja War because Hiruzen knew about it. But he used it in war. But he forbid the jutsu in times of peace. It was forbidden. So you acting like Tobirama didn't even put in effort to like make sure people wouldn't be able to use it. I'm just confused, bro. Like, what is his logic? Like, what is his logic? Like, I'm so confused, bro. I'm so confused. Like, bro, the Tobirama slander is this shit doesn't seem to be calming down anytime soon, bro. And it just doesn't make any sense.